Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and a member show to the GMP Morning Show.
Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. Tudo bem? Como está? Wishing you a very happy Valentine's Day and a Dia Dos Namorados. And Filomena will be joining us at around 8:20 this morning to tell us what that means here in Portugal. I mean, in the broadest sense, of course. Ooh, the dogs are barking outside. What does that mean, I wonder? A somewhat grey day. How's the weather where you are? How are you where you are this morning? Putting the sex into sexta-feira on this special day in the calendar of humanity. So hopefully, at the very least, a massive outpouring of self-love and self-respect and self-esteem. And if you're lucky, extending that to others within your midst. Always ask for permission. Right, let's have a look, see who's here already this morning. Jackie, hold on a minute. I just need to shout at my dogs. Hold on, is that the microphone? Okay, any lip readers there will have seen me being quite direct with my my canines this morning. Bon dia, lively Carl. Lively Carl, very good. Okay, I'll take that. Bon dia Gumpers from a cold, freezing Tring. Love the word Tring, the place name Tring. Hertfordshire, another day, another village, and today is our special lady presenter, Filomena Friday. Filomena Friday. Yeah, where's Owen? Okay, Paul Reese of Paul Reese at Rural Properties. Bon dia to you as well. Lovely, I meant, not knit lively. What's going on with your keyboard this morning? But hey, if the cap fits. Yeah, I do. It's funny. I do feel lively now. I'm on the screen here with you. But this morning was a very sort of leisurely, dreamy start. I'd sit down, I'd do something, and I'd just drift away. And I suddenly realized while I was abluting that it was 10 to 8. Least said about that, the better. But it made me get a move on, that's for sure. And the Bom Dia Daily, of course, our first 20 minutes with news, weather, language, and culture. We're going to return to the Portugal Club. I'm just catching up on all the wonderful Portuguese sayings. It's Portuguese Language and Culture Day today, isn't it? Because Filomena's here. And I'm just catching up with all the wonderful sayings that Antonio F. has been updating over at the Portugal Club. And there are some great ones there. There are some love-related sayings there too. Bom dia, Gumpers, e feliz sexta-feira. Putting the sex into Valentine's Day seems appropriate. Oh, the fog yesterday lasted until mid-afternoon, and so we abandoned our trip to Tomar. Wow, okay. And you were in Santarém, were you? I really like that town. We did, however, discover the Portuguese speciality of leitão in a little restaurant around the corner from the hotel. One of those things that has to be tried. Happy Valentine's. Fantastic. Yeah, I do like a bit of leitão myself. The Bairrada area district is thought to be the top place for... Oh, I saw falling into place. Now, sorry, it just occurred to me. My monitor's a bit skew with. The power cable had been pulled out of my sound desk. I thought I had no sound this morning when I was just limbering up before the show. And it was my bigger dog, Jimmy, had a mad 5 minutes last night before going. I got really excited. You know when dogs try and run around in a space that's too small for them and they do these incredible turns. And it's difficult on a Portuguese floor. So he's skidding like a cartoon character. It was he who ran into the studio and garroted himself, I suspect, only to be freed by the cable coming out of the sound desk. And that's why my monitor was all skew with. Okay, where were we? Yes, last night, talking of leitão, last night on the town hall session, Expats Portugal's town hall session with the Dream Team, I mentioned that, you know, the news story that I was talking about earlier this week about how Portuguese cuisine is some of the most difficult to replicate in the world. I was asking our Portuguese panelists what they recommended, what would they recommend to us to try, us foreigners and to tourists. And I think basically the consensus was don't bother, go to a restaurant. Which was quite interesting. Although Gilda did go into conveying an elaborate cornbread bacalhau recipe, which I still think would have taken 5 days to prepare. So I think the general consensus is right. Go out. Luis Duarte from GIR was there. He and his family used to make lulas recheados, the stuffed squid. And he began to describe that as well. That seems far too complicated as well. So yeah, go out, especially today. Although... How is it where you are in Portugal this morning, this evening, Valentine's Day? Are the hoteliers, the restaurateurs taking advantage of the situation and doing Valentine's specials, or is it just another day where you are in the cafe and restaurant culture and nobody's commercializing or taking advantage of that? Whatever you're doing, whatever you're planning, I hope you have a great day and evening. Leah's here. Hello, lovely to see you here. Hola todos. Happy Valentine's Day from you as well. And Gemini Bradshaw. I think you might have missed the gag, the joke there, Gemini, with Filomena yesterday showing us the highest dome in the world. There is no dome on the unfinished chapels at Battaglia. The clue being in unfinished, and the dome itself is God's own sky above the unfinished chapels there. It took a while for it to sink in for me as well when Filomena first explained it to me. We'll see her quite soon. So some of this Bon Dia Daily news then, and what caught my eye this morning was tuck off. Tuk-tuks being not exactly banned, but there were going to be streets. Let's bring this onto the screen. And my love of Portugal Decoded. I've just started with Substack myself, but I think partly inspired by the writer of Portugal Decoded. And I can't give them credit as a person. I can't find their name anywhere on. And didn't we interview the writer some while ago? I think we did. I think we had a chat with the creator, and all mention of their name seems to have disappeared from the site. They're just going with the branding Portugal Decoded. And what a fabulous job they do. And today's briefing that I received via email, which of course you do with Substack, it's such a good bit of kit, I have to say. I really, really admire and appreciate Substack. And I've got all these blimmin' things on my screen. They're not to do with Substack or Portugal Decoded. That was when I installed the software to read things to me rather than me having to read them myself, which is rather lazy. But I don't have the attention span for it. It's getting worse and worse. But anyway, enough about that. Let's go to Portugal Decoded. It's a great Friday briefing from Coimbra with love. There's a wonderful, really, truly great Portuguese guitar decoder, if you like the guitar and the Portuguese guitar in particular, and you want to know your variants, the Coimbra, the Lisboa, the Porto guitars. They are different and they are explained over there. And it would have been the 100th birthday, I believe, of Carlos Paredes around now. There is some great, obviously, some great Portuguese guitar playing from Carlos Paredes as well there. That's in the decoder. And Portugal Decoded covers a whole load of other areas of life here: politics, society, economics, culture, and sports. And in fact, where is the description? It's like, it is a great country, great people, great food, etc., etc. But there's more to it than that, a bit like Katia Lima says. And can you see all this wonderful stuff that is covered here? Events, really, really good. Really, really grateful to the creator of Portugal Decoded, whose name I forget now. But what caught my eye was the tuk-tuk story, because at the very least, it enabled me to write the headline, "Tuck off!" on as my Bon Dia Daily headline today. So let's have a look at what's going on there. Lisbon City Council is set to impose a complete ban on tuk-tuks in much of the city's historic Paul Rees, do we say historic or historic, like we say hotel? Emphasizing the need to balance tourism activity with the preservation of the city's historic charm. I must say I have some sympathy with this. I do like tuk-tuk rides, and the one we took in Tamar, me and Bobby, was especially good. Oh, morning to you as well, Ernesto, as well. Bon dia, Portugal. And Mel's here as well. Bon dia. We'll come back to your comments a little bit later on. Yeah, tuk-tuks are great. However, I guess there's a saturation point, isn't there? And it just becomes, rather than peaceful and beautiful in a particular back street of old town Lisboa, you're risking life and limb stepping out into a constant stream of tuk-tuk. So I think they're trying to balance that. There's also the interesting news item there. The press widely reported Portugal's decline to its lowest ever ranking in the 2024 Corruption Perceptions Index. It's worth looking into that, because the index is not based on public surveys, as it turns out, but on the evaluation of 11 unnamed experts who might have a particular axe to grind, right? Sorry, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's go to, not the politics story. Yes, the tuk-tuk story here. There's one. The new circulation rules set to take effect on April the 1st include a list of 337 streets, primarily in the historic centre, where tuk-tuks will no longer be allowed to operate. Took it all the way. That's clever, isn't it? That particular brand there. And some of these tuk-tuk drivers are brilliant, aren't they, with their banter and repartee. It's like a little show that they give you inside there, especially the chap that we worked with in Tamar. Was really funny and very informative as well. So the municipal order will prohibit tuk-tuks from operating on 67 streets. I mean, what's going to happen? You'll never catch him. It's going to be like that scene from the Italian Job, but instead of minis, it's going to be tuk-tuks evading the authorities, possibly. The move comes as a part of an immediate effort to address the disorder caused by tuk-tuks in popular areas of the city. So, yeah, it's all just got a bit too much, and I think they're just trying to calm it down there. Felipe Anacoreta Correa, Deputy Mayor and Head of Mobility for Carlos Moeda's administration in Lisbon, explained to Eco Local Online that the new rules aim to regulate the presence of tuk-tuks while acknowledging the city's limited authority, chaos over tourism licensing, which falls under the jurisdiction of the National Ministry of Economy. We are faced with a challenge. This activity is licensed by national entities. And the city council has no control over it. There's a nice loophole if you're a tuk-tuk driver, but only until the 1st of April. Residents have raised concerns, but we lack the power to limit licensed vehicles. So there you go. That's why, under the new rules, operators will have access to 250 designated parking and pick-up drop-off spots for street hailing services. An additional 150 spots may be added in a second phase, bringing the total to 400. Tuk-tuks will be also allowed to operate for hotel pickups, local accommodation, and pre-booked online reservations. So hopefully they'll be able to figure it out. I suspect a little bit of disappointment in the tuk-tuk community, tuk-tuk topsy, growing like, as it were. So hopefully they can figure that all out, and we can strike a balance there in the capital of having great tuk-tuk rides, because they are a part of the picture now, aren't they? But without the chaos of just being overwhelmed by said vehicles. There you go. Portugal Decoded. Let me make sure you've got the link to subscribing to that. It really is very good. It's responsible. It's ethical. It's informative. It's passionately done, I would say. So I urge you to subscribe to that one, which you can do for absolutely nothing, but you can also support the writer as well, of course, which seems to be the way so many one-man brands are making a living these days, myself included. Bon dia, just about to do a romantic walk with my Valentine loves, my dogs. Will listen when I get back. That's very nice there, Mel. Last time I was in Alfama, you couldn't move for tuk-tuks and vintage cars. So there you go. A very own Gumper perspective on the matter there. Makes sense. And thank you for your message. Yes, John, last morning here in the Oxford of España. So there you go. So the Oxford, the Coimbra, it's Salamanca. University of Salamanca is the 4th oldest in the world. Let's not leave out Cambridge, but should we say Oxbridge for this matter here? So yes, the ancient academic capital of Spain, that'll be Salamanca, everybody. And more pictures I'm sure to come from John, and I'll knit together a little video from your visit over there, if I may. Good to see you here, Leah, this morning. Thank you for joining us. And anyone else who's lurking, who has not declared themselves, why not do so? Show some love and declare yourself to us, if you will. And welcome to the very first people who've arrived in San Martino de Porto for the Valentine's weekend. The new PA has arrived. It's extraordinary. I've discovered that Bose are like the Apple Mac of the sound world. What an incredible bit of technology we have in our hands for tomorrow night, for our karaoke and for our disco tomorrow evening in the Casa de Lem cocktail bar. I hope you'll be joining us. Welcome, Gav and family. Thank you for being here. And thank you for sponsoring part of the sound system, the Good Times, the Gumpers Good Times sound system. Other sponsorship spaces are available for that roadshow sound system, which I suspect will be touring the country. I've got some great ideas for tomorrow night, for some sing-songs, and there's going to be we're going to be throwing some 70s shapes, as you found out when I was talking to Terence Austin yesterday. He'll be leading the siege of the dance floor, I think. It'll be like a scene from Portuguese history with invasions of foreigners, but on the dance floor. That's the best kind of invasion, isn't it? And a murder on the dance floor tomorrow evening. And I think this roadshow idea's got legs around the country. So if you want to get involved, do let me know. 913-590-303. Hello, Anna. Feliz Dia dos Namorados a todos. It's only me. I want to say namor. Let's go with namor. Namorados a todos, which is how it will be said in a Portuguese radio advert. Feliz Dia dos Namorados. Namorados. That's what I'm trying to say. Like Nadaduro. Namorados. I'm going to have to work on that because it's
Filomena Friday.
Oh, yes, it is. Right. Very quickly then. Oh, how about some love hearts today? We've got one from Cookie Koyo. Good morning to you, Cookie. Can we please have some more hearts? Why not press the heart button? It's St. Valentine's Day. Let's see what happens. Often compared to Oxford, aside from academics and antiquity, because of the numerous colleges of various subject matters distributed throughout the old city centre. Thank you for that clarification. João Ernesto, as promised as well. Let's have a look at some of these Portuguese sayings as shared with us over at the Portugal Club. That's a way to support what we do here at Good Morning Portugal. Become a Portugal Club member, and you will be able to get access to everything that's going on at the Portugal Club. And I'll bring it onto the screen now. There was the post last night alerting the Gumpers to the fact that we're having a sing-song this morning. We've got the words of Luís Camões, one of the nation's great poets, because he says, love is fire. If you're feeling that today, you'll be able to sing it off a bit, shake it off, sing it off. And we'll be singing, and I'll put the words. It's a sing-song day, okay? Getting ready for our karaoke tomorrow night. It's a sing-song day with Filomena. But that's not why I popped over to the Good Morning Portugal Club. I'm here because I'm looking for the Portuguese sayings. And as I scroll down, you'll see, that's reassuring, isn't it? Good Morning Portugal show is now live. This is it. James Holly, episode 36. My visits to Lisboa, Portugal. That's the old guy in Europe's new video. As of today, there's the post about today's sing-song with Filomena, trying to keep you in touch with what's going on. Oh, and I posted up next week's webinar on the Expats Portugal webinar will be the story of Philippa of Lancaster. Isabel Stilwell will be with us talking about her book about Philippa of Lancaster. Sign up for all of this at gmpvip.com or theportugalclub.com. There's also Criminal Facts in Portugal, which now has over 250 reports from Antonio, who keeps an eye on. It's a crime file. It's Antonio's crime file. And also today's Portuguese saying of the day, this started by T-Duck some time ago, now has over 500 comments on it. Most of them are Portuguese sayings. So let's have a look at a few of the most recent ones, and we'll see. If we go to, we did this a little while ago, didn't we? Feliz ao jogo, infeliz aos amores. So if you're lucky at gambling, you might be unlucky in love, it says there. Although sometimes the two go together. And may I wish my dear wife and life companion and my lover, my my amor, mio amor, Luisa, a very happy Valentine's Day. Because I would say we took a gamble. We definitely took a gamble. We had quite the quite the meeting. It was quite a gamble, you know, how we she just moved in, and here we are. Is it 13, 14 years later? Very happily married. So happy Valentine's Day to you, Mrs. M. And I'll be on with her on the moment with the Munsons. And I imagine we'll make reference to Valentine's Day on our moment show on New Reality TV at midday today. Anyway, I would say lucky in gambling and lucky in love for us Munsons anyway. Feliz e quem por feliz se tem. Happy is he who considers himself happy. That's some great, life advice there, isn't it? Stoicism almost. Feliz e quem só quer, o que pode, e só faz o que deve. Happy is he who only wants what he can and only does what he must. There you go. Ferreiro de maldição, quando tem feiro. Filomena's joined us, and she's hearing me murdering these words here. It's a crime scene. Some of this might go in Antonio's crime report. An Englishman was heard murdering Portuguese words at around 8:20 on the 14th of February. On Valentine's Day of all days. I'm going to keep going. Ferreiro de maldição. Quando tem feiro, não tem carvão. the cursed blacksmith. When there's iron, there's no coal. Oh, it's like you've got to break eggs to make an omelette. You've got to burn coal to make iron. Very good. And use what you have, or it will spoil by lack of use. That's good, isn't it? Ferro que não se usa, gastão a ferrugem. There you go. Just a couple more. These are fantastic. This is good value on its own, thanks to Antonio F at theportugalclub.com. Festa acabada, músicos em pé. Finish the party and the musicians stand. Yeah, when the music stops, it's like it's not over until the fat lady sings. It's over when the musicians stand up. The party is over. And finally, I like this one. Fevereiro quente traz o diabo no ventre. A hot February will mean a very hot and dry summer. I wonder what Filomena thought of these. Let's give us some of this.
I need to learn the language to put me at ease.
Filomena Friday.
It's going to take time learning Portuguese.
Filomena Friday.
I get confused nearly every day.
Filomena Friday.
How do I know which verb is okay?
Filomena Friday.
Practice those words so loud and clear.
It's a Filomena Friday.
Friday.
On a Filomena Friday, it's a day of cheer.
Woo! Let's bring her onto the screen.
Trips for Brits at gmail.com.
Trips for Brits at gmail.com. Here she is. Olá, bom dia, tudo bem?
Bom dia, alegria.
Bom dia, alegria.
Feliz
Tudo bem?
Dia dos Namorados ou Feliz Dia de São Valentim.
São Valentim. Sim, bom dia, alegria. Feliz Dia dos Namorados a todos. Oh, Feliz Dia de São Valentim. Thank you very much, Filomena. Thank you so much for being here. What were you thinking as I was reading those Portuguese sayings?
You were great, Carlitos. Muito bem, Carlitos.
I was giving it my all. I really was. And aren't they great? 500 or thereabouts Portuguese sayings. They just keep coming, Filomena. There's something about the Portuguese psyche that likes a little rhyming couplet like that, right?
Yeah, there are lots and lots and lots of sayings. Yeah.
Yeah. And there are many of them encapsulated there for our pleasure and our learning by Antonio F. Thank you to that man. He's not here yet, but let's make sure we thank him again, because I think he'll join us towards the end of the show, as he sometimes does, as Filomena's teaching assistant as well. He works at the back of the classroom, doesn't he? Going around correcting pronunciation and that sort of thing. Are we singing today?
Sorry, are we singing?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. My
really?
My throat is still not very well. I've been like this for 3 weeks now, but
dear. Okay,
yeah.
right. Well, we can do it as poetry, can't we? Because we are making reference to the great Camões today, aren't we? Could we start?
The song that I sent you it's a lovely song, isn't it?
It is. Absolutely. And this is the connection with Luís de Camões, the great poet,
the great poet, that died in 1580 on the 10th of June, and that's why the 10th of June is a holiday, and it's the Dia de Portugal, de Camões e das comunidades portuguesas. So the Day of Portugal, of Camões, and the Portuguese communities throughout the world. That's the wonderful? 10th of June. Okay.
10th of June. Okay.
Put it in your calendar.
10th
of June. Day of Portugal.
And talking of which, many people around the world. I need to bring this graphic on. This flashed past me this morning. It's great. It's about and especially appropriate for this morning, if I can only find it. This is the estimate of the amount of people speaking Portuguese in particular countries around the world. Guess what it is in Portugal, everyone? It's around 10 million. And make sure you join them, those of you who are watching this morning. Let me bring it onto the screen. I think it's really interesting, the amount of people speaking Portuguese in the United States, for example. So let's have a quick look at that now, and then we'll return to Camões, because I think it's worth learning more about him and his appearance, his swimming ability, as well as his writing ability. But look at this. Brazilers, some of these aren't a surprise, but 208 million Portuguese speakers in Brazil, 26 million in Angola, and 10, as you might expect, in Portugal. Nearly 6 million in Mozambique, 1.2 million in the United States, Filomena. It's amazing, isn't it? 1 million in France, Guinea-Bissau, 700,000. Canada,
Well,
330,000.
in France, no wonder, because Paris is full of Portuguese.
Yeah, right. Second biggest city. Second biggest Portuguese city,
Yes.
Paris. Right.
Yeah.
Paraguay, 320,000. Switzerland, though, look, 310,000. Spain, interestingly, 300,000. Probably a lot of them on the border. And Sao Tome and Principe, 230,000. Isn't that great? So
Yeah,
glad to have seen that this morning.
there are lots of countries in Africa that speak Portuguese as
Yes.
an official language. So of course the big countries, Angola and Mozambique, and then the smaller ones like Guinea-Bissau, São Tomé e Príncipe, Cabo Verde.
Yeah.
So, sorry about my throat today.
But it's both of us. Me too. I'm going to drink lots of water this morning. We probably won't be singing. We're saving our voices for tomorrow night. You've got your juice there, have you? Okay, good. Excellent. So let me just go through some of the welcoming messages to you. 17 watching. Few more now. Filomena's here, everybody. Come on, folks. Give that like button a tickle for Carl and for Filomena. Bon dia from Antonio Barbosa. Morning greetings from a most loving Villanova de Cerveira on this Valentine's Day. Wishing you all a happy Friday and a wonderful weekend. Bit of Tony time there.
Yeah,
I didn't even
and
notice.
by the way, I would like to speak about Minho today because of the Dia dos Namorados.
Okay, looking forward to that. There's a special significance in the Minho, is there, for Valentine's Day? Good. I didn't even notice it was Valentine's Day, says Jackie. I may have to go and buy me some more chocolates. Hold on a minute. Let me just load that up a bit. Nossa amizade had acabarcando esta pomba boa. Okay, boa. Right. I don't know what that means.
That's a mystery. That's a mystery.
It is a mystery, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just leave that there for a moment. Okay, you've got that. Hello, Filomena from Gemini, and Mike and Karen here. Ginia, look, Bon dia todos. It was so nice meeting you, Mr. Munson, at the Battalion Gathering. It was lovely to meet you as well. And always a pleasure seeing Filomena again. Wasn't that great? Lovely to see you, Filomena, over there.
Likewise, yes, it was great. Yes, we had met before because I had done a tour for Virginia and her husband. And so in Coimbra, we were in Coimbra. And yes, it was a pleasure to see again the ones that I knew already, but also a pleasure to meet new ones.
Yeah, it was really good.
New
really
people.
good. Written about that. It's in the Portugal Resident already. That's the picture of the monastery that I took on the way back from the bar.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cool. I had a whiskey on the Saturday night, and as we left the bar, there was the monastery lit up.
Yeah, and at night it's very beautiful with the lights.
Amazing. Yeah, and we had it to ourselves, just walking across the concourse. It's so fantastic. So thank you, Virginia. Thank you for being here this morning. Take note, says Antonio. Today is Dia dos Namorados, and not to be confused with Dia da Mulher, which is on March 8th. That's Mother's Day.
That's right, Antonio. Yeah.
Okay, Os melhores, Filomena from Pam as well. Soon. And that phrase, we're hearing it a lot at this time of year, aren't we? And Olá, Filomena. Karen is going to stop by to talk to you this morning. Ooh.
Okay. Thank
you.
You
Might see her knocking on the window in a minute. Okay. And so this takes us back to what you just held up. So what does this mean? What's that about?
Yeah, because Valentine's Day, Dia de São Valentim, is not, at least for us, it's not just love in terms of boyfriend or girlfriend or husband and wife, but it's also about friendship, amizade, friendship. So it's the day to give some love to your friends. So take fantastic. My love too, Carlitos.
Yes, absolutely. Big hug, a big Team Gumper hug here this morning. So it's Day of Friendship today.
Yes, we celebrate friendship. And
that's fantastic.
Nossa amizade, friendship. Of course, if you are learning Portuguese, this is not the best way because this is because this Portuguese tradition, it's a Portuguese tradition, okay, of lenços dos namorados.
Yes.
Lenços dos namorados. And it's a tradition from Minho. That's why I said that I would like to speak about the tradition from Minho.
Okay.
So, you know, you don't sound very excited about
No,
it.
so I was distracted. I was distracted. I just love this idea that Portugal celebrates friendship because
Yeah.
it's love in all its forms. And St. Valentine wasn't especially about romantic love. It's just, like so many things.
Yeah,
It's
love in
become
general,
commercial. Yeah, exactly. It's a
loving
patron saint of
people
love
in
in general.
general.
Yes, absolutely. So well done, Portugal, for staying with that rather than the whole focus being on romantic love.
Yeah, not just on the romantic side, but love in general.
Yeah,
It's a day of
absolutely.
love.
Yes, yeah, and it's found its root in the Minho. Why would that be particularly?
Yes. So in near Braga in Vila Verde, so there is a tradition that is called, as I said, Lenço dos Namorados. The origin was probably before this started in the 17th and 18th century. The Portuguese nobles used to wear lots of handkerchiefs, around the neck and everything. So they like the handkerchiefs. And then in the 19th century, apparently it started in the 19th century, in Minho, the girls used to embroider linen handkerchiefs.
Yes.
Declaring her love, so announcing her love to someone, to the boyfriend.
Nice.
So they used to embroider lovely patterns with hearts and everything, a bit like your heart behind you.
Yes.
And so they used to embroider the hearts and the heart of Vienna, as you know, the heart of Vienna, right? Viana do Castelo.
Yes, the filigree hearts. Yes,
like this.
yes.
So the heart of Vienna, and so they used to embroider hearts and other patterns, and also a sentence, or some sentences saying that they were in love with the boy, and they used to give the handkerchief to the loved one, and then they would wait, and if the boy wore the handkerchief around his neck, it meant, okay, we are starting a relationship.
Okay, brilliant.
If the boy gave the handkerchief back, bad news.
Heartbreak. But she could dry her tears on the handkerchief.
At least she had the handkerchief to dry her tears.
Sorry, that's not funny, really, but it's quite practical.
Why did I say that this is not a good way to learn Portuguese? Because the girls, of course, you know that in the 19th century, the girls wouldn't go a lot to school, right? So they didn't know how to write properly. So they used to embroider the sentence the way they used to say it, and they didn't know exactly how to write that. And there is also the pronunciation of the north. For example, the last word here. What is the last word?
Well, it says boar. Yes, yeah.
So if you replace that B by a V, you have the verb.
Yes.
Voar with a V.
Go, right? Yes.
What is voar? Do you know?
Go, right?
Voar is to fly.
Oh, to fly. Okay, yeah.
Fly.
Yes.
So because the girls didn't know how to write, I mean, they speak like that. They say boar. They don't say voar, because in the north the B is the V is replaced by B. So instead of voar,
Villarreal.
Villarreal.
Yes.
Vienna.
Okay.
Instead of Vienna. Okay. So Vienna. So they used to write the way they used to say it. So boar. Also another word here in yellow, candu.
Right. Candu. See.
Right? Do you know what candu is?
No, I don't.
Candu, right? You don't know?
No.
It's quando.
Oh, okay. So they've written it as they heard it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yes.
nossa amizade, ad is also wrong because ad it is an H and an A and an accent and then a dash, an hyphen,
Yes.
and then the. Nowadays no dash because of the new agreement. Okay, but it's a and then de. So nossa amizade há de acabar
Quando, sim.
quando esta pomba voar. So
Yes.
our friendship will
Yes.
finish when this dove
Has flown.
flies.
Yes.
Never, because this dove is never going to fly, isn't it?
Oh, that's great, isn't it? Where can I get
Right?
one of those to give to Louisa this morning?
Yeah, well, in a souvenir shop.
I need one of those on my shrine. Have you noticed here, Filomena? I don't know if I had this the last time you were on, but there are lots of mementos from some of our
Yeah, so
times
this is
together.
a little tile, as you can
Yeah.
see, a little tile, and it's a magnet.
We
And
need one of those. We need one of those on here
yes,
for
sure.
sure. Yeah.
And so this is nossa amizade há de acabar quando esta pomba voar. So our
Very good.
friendship will finish when this dove flies away.
And we've
Never.
had songs about pombalinos before, haven't we? The doves. The dove
Pombinhas,
song.
yes, yeah.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
so. Very
And
good.
and this was, of course, this was a tradition, and the tradition is still kept in the form of other forms of art now. For example, you probably haven't noticed, but on Saturday at our dinner in the hotel, right? Our lovely
Ooh.
dinner that we had in the hotel.
Yes. Oh, the bacalhau was very good, I thought.
Yeah, everything was good.
Yeah.
And actually, a lady in the lift, when I was in the lift, a lady said, "Oh, I like your shoes." And I said, "Thank you. They are a Portuguese tradition." So
They are Bobby Dazzlers, aren't they?
you see these
Hold
the
on, let me give you
the
Yeah.
sentences from the Lenço dos Namorados,
Right.
the
Beautiful.
hearts, okay?
Yes.
And you can have a shorter
I need some of those.
or a higher
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I'll take those higher ones.
Yeah.
Look at those.
Those higher ones, okay? And the company is Namorarte.
Wonderful. Look at this.
Namorarte
Yes.
Portugal.
Yes.
Okay.
Fantastic. And
So
do they specialize in love shoes?
no, namorar, to date, to have a boyfriend, and arte, right?
Right. But is that what they specialize in? They making these kinds of shoes to get around love and dating?
They are in Braga, in Vila Verde in Braga,
Yeah.
and they make I have sent you the link for the site if you want to
You did.
pass their site.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
They make not just shoes, but and not just high heel shoes, but also flat shoes, trainers, boots, sandals, all sorts of footwear. Yes, as you can
All
see.
around this theme. Yes.
Yeah, so trainers, for example, lovely trainers with the hearts, and of course a lot of red, because the red is the traditional embroidered color.
Yeah.
And you have lots and lots of different footwear, but not just footwear. They also do the actually handkerchiefs. Can you see on the right side?
Oh,
If you go
yes.
to the top,
They are beautiful, aren't they?
lenços de namorados. So they also do the handkerchiefs like those.
Oh,
You
lovely.
see,
Yeah.
they are lovely. And then they do purses, for example, to match with your shoes.
Yeah. That's important.
They
I always try and make sure that I have that. Yes.
okay. So
Yeah.
they make socks, for
So
example.
let's have a look at the socks. Love socks.
Yes, they also have socks.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. What a great company. Thank you for bringing these people to our
Yeah,
attention.
I thought that today it would be appropriate to speak about
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll stick them in our resources as well so people know where to find them. They're cool, aren't they? Look at
They
these.
are very nice, and they are very good quality. They are Portuguese brand.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Portuguese brand, the Portuguese shoes are of very, very good quality.
They're lovely, aren't they?
And besides, you can personalize your shoe. They can do it for you as you like. Okay, so
Wow.
if
Okay.
you contact them, they are
Yeah.
very nice. They really, um, they know how to do exactly what you want, and so you can, for example, have your favorite sentence, or you can have a design that you prefer.
Bom Dia Alegria. I could have some Bom Dia Alegria high
Bom
heels.
Dia Alegria, Munson here.
Yeah.
Bom Dia Alegria, Munson here. You
My
can
high
have
heels.
have that written on your shoe.
I'll tell you what, Filomena, thank you so much. We like to do a Bom Dia Daily deal. And I'm seeing here, there's like 60% reductions on some of
Yes.
the wonderful products of Namorados Portugal here. So there you go. There's our Bom Dia Daily deal, an impromptu one, 60% off, a wonderful range of mainly footwear here, but go check it out.
Yeah, mainly
Thank you,
footwear,
Filomena.
because that's what
That's
they
what they do.
started to do, the
Yes.
footwear. But
Yes.
for example, for brides, there are beautiful shoes for brides,
Yes.
and they do a
Oh, my
lot. They
word.
do a lot
Yeah.
of shoes for brides.
Yeah,
But
because
as I
there's more.
said, also comfortable shoes. Even trainers and
Well, I'm noticing that
sandals.
there are high heels and formal shoes, but they're also
And
very
for men
playful.
too, not just for women, Carl. Sorry to interrupt, but
That's
also
good.
for men. Okay,
Right. They're
you
bo-
you
they're fun, aren't they? Those
they
very, very
are
nice
very
looking.
nice. They
Yes,
they they give you the joy that you need every day, isn't it?
they do the alegria on your feet.
Alegria, yeah.
Alegria de peixe. Very, very, very good. We'll get in touch with them, and we are delighted to have featured your
Yeah,
products this morning.
Donna Paula, Donna Paula. If you want, I think the number is there, but I also have her number. If you, I can give it to you.
Yeah, that'd be
And
wonderful.
from also apart from this, there is also another big Portuguese brand, the porcelain Vista Alegre.
Oh yes, yeah,
And
I've
I
heard
have
of.
sent you a picture of an example of Vista Alegre collection Vila Verde, which is also following this tradition of lenços dos namorados.
Very good.
If you
Okay,
can find the picture
I
that I
will.
sent you.
I'm going to go. Yes, I can. Oh, that's lovely as well. So it's in the same sort of artistic ethic, isn't it? And the
Yes,
styling.
it's all to do with the lenços dos namorados, the handkerchiefs,
Yes.
the
Okay.
boyfriend's handkerchiefs.
I'm going to pop that onto the screen now. We're going to be talking a bit more about Luis de Camões in just a moment, and some lovely words, because today, everybody, love can be fire as much.
And let me
Okay.
just answer Pam there when she says, I know some Portuguese people who write how the words sound. Well, I also know some English-speaking people who write how the words sound.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially Americans.
Mm, well, not Americans, but
Stop it, you lot.
English-speaking people in general.
Stop messing with our language. You'll send Filomena around. Right? That's very, very, very pretty, isn't it?
It is.
Lovely,
This
colours.
is just one example, because they have plates, they have all sorts. If you want, I can also send you the
I love it.
web page.
Vista Alegre. This is the wonderful porcelain company just
Vista
up there
Alegre.
in Aveiro, isn't it? Just south of Aveiro, I think.
Yeah, probably.
There's
I'm
a
not sure
factory and a
where, but
museum there. Yeah. I'm sure if Bairandi or what does he call himself now? Andairo. If he's here this morning, I'm sure he'll tell us where that is. I'm sure he's cycled past it many times. Lovely, loving that, and the lenços here of the Amistad. Thank you for introducing us and broadening the whole idea of St. Valentine's Day today, especially here in Portugal. Should we talk a little bit then about love is fire?
yes.
Oh, no, hold on a minute. Before we do, I already have my costume for tomorrow night. So it's a bit late. Maybe next year you can wear some of those lovely heels, Colin. And other incoming messages before we talk about Camões. Let me just share a few of these, if I may. That I don't think it has an April Fool joke. I think that is the Tuk Tuk getting banned in Alfama there. Well, not banned, but limited. I think, as well. There. Morning to you, Hugh and Jane. Morning from up on the vineyards. How lovely. Alas, we won't be at the festivities in San Martino this weekend. We return to Pont Lima via a stop in Villarreal and then a cello concert tomorrow. That sounds lovely. A lovely way to celebrate this weekend. I love your concept, Filomena, says OLP. Good morning to you. And in Wales, they used to carve spoons to show their love.
Yes, I have a like a kitchen cloth with the spoons from Wales. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Do you? I know some Portuguese people. We've done that one, haven't we?
Yeah.
There. Oh, yeah. People were guessing earlier on with your lovely fridge magnet there. My nieces send me lots of kisses for Valentine's, and we talk via FaceTime, says Mr. S. Yeah, friendship and it's all about friendship and the broadest sense.
Yes, it's all about friendship. Yeah.
Yeah, big day for the kiddos in the US. They exchange Valentine cards in school. Interesting.
Yeah, in Portugal too.
Filomena knows more British people than Americans. Mr. S pushing back there. It's the only.
Well,
right.
Yes. Yes, I do. I do know more British than Americans. Yeah.
No, that's ruined my theory then, isn't it? Right. Luís Camões, very important. Is that what do we say, the Shakespeare of Portugal? I know comparisons are odious.
He was the Shakespeare of Portugal, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So are you going to take us through this line by line then?
I can read it. Yeah.
That's a lot. It's not. Okay. It looks a bit dense like that. Okay.
So, amor é fogo que arde sem se ver, é ferida que dói e não se sente, é contentamento descontente, é dor que desatina sem doer, é não querer mais que bem querer, é andar solitário entre a gente, é nunca contentar-se de contente, é cuidar que ganha em se perder. É querer estar preso por vontade, é servir a quem vence, o vencedor. É ter com quem nos mata lealdade. Mas como causar pode seu favor nos corações humanos amizade, se tão contrário a si é o próprio amor? Luís de Camões.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. And
the song is nicer than my voice.
Well, there's a link to it in the Portugal Club, and the lyrics, all the lyrics, the words that were penned there by Camões.
Yeah.
But how do you think this was originally intended then? What's the setting and the context for this particular piece of work?
Well, it's just to describe the love as opposing concept, right? I mean, it's a fire that is burning without being seen, right? Like it's a wound that hurts, but you can't feel it.
Yes.
So it's all the opposite concepts of, like, for example, it hurts, but you don't feel it. Or for example, it's a contentment that is a discontent, so it's being happy, but it's a sad happy. Let's say it's a pain that that hurts without hurting, things like that. So it's all the opposite feelings when you are in love, because you are in love and everything seems wonderful.
1 minute. Yes.
One minute it seems wonderful, the other minute can be, well, if the boy gives the handkerchief back, is not
that's
going
it.
to be
Done.
very
Finished.
nice.
Yeah. And I was reminded, in my father's personal effects, I do have a handkerchief now in my own possession, and I found a handkerchief of his. He I think he's from a generation, the last of the handkerchief users, possibly. And I do remember him, carrying a handkerchief, having handkerchiefs. And one of them I found in a had his name embroidered in it, I'm sure by one of his lady friends, in a script, not unlike we've seen this morning. It's lovely to have that, and it's because it's so personal, isn't it? It's so lovely.
Yes.
Now, I wonder if I might read the translation as well, and try and do it justice.
Yes,
here.
sure, of course.
Is that okay? Okay. So, love is a fire that burns without being seen. It is a wound that hurts and is not felt. It is a discontented contentment. It is a pain that drives you crazy without hurting. It is not wanting more than wanting well. It is a lonely walk among us. It is never to be content with being content. It is a care that gains in being lost. It is wanting to be trapped by will, is to serve the one who wins. The victor is to have loyalty to those who kill us. But how can you cause your favor in human heart's friendship if so contrary to you is the same love? And it's like not something is lost in translation, but the kind of the beauty of it is
contrary to you, I would say contrary to itself,
yes.
love.
Yeah, amazing. So what an incredible fella we have there, and there is a link to. He is an incredible character, isn't he, Kamoish?
Yes,
with
he
the
had lots of
eye.
loves. Camões also had lots of loves.
Oh, was he a bit of a ladies' man then?
He was. He liked to party,
and he liked to fight. And is it the Luciadas that he is meant to have? Luciadas, I beg your pardon.
So you stress that I. Luciadas.
And is it that work that he had under his arm as he left the ship, fighting somebody with a sword, swimming with one arm?
Swimming with one arm and holding the book.
And one eye. Right.
With one eye.
This is a legendary character. And I think the sort of I think Portuguese love a paradox as well, don't they? Which is so beautifully embodied in the poem there. The kind of the joy and the pain is. Just feels to me so much of the Portuguese psyche and psychology. You know what we're short of this morning in the chat? Questions for Filomena. We get the pleasure of your company once a month. And we've enjoyed the poetry and finding out more about the Day of Friendship and how the Portuguese broadened St. Valentine's to include everybody, an inclusive day here in Portugal. But not many questions on the language or the culture for that matter this morning. What's been coming up in lessons? Any common themes in lessons recently that when you've been doing one-to-ones with people, Filomena?
Yeah, there are always questions.
Yes.
But in terms of language, I would go back to the poem. And I would explain why these you have the s throughout the poem a lot, if you look at the poem.
Yeah,
so you have amor é fogo que arde sem se ver, é ferida que dói e não se sente, right? And then later on é cuidar que ganha em se perder. So this se in these sentences is the "se" that you can see in, for example, the signs vende-se.
Yes.
You know the sign.
Yeah.
Vende-se or aluga-se.
Yes.
Right, and you have these "se," which is not. Because there are other "se's." Okay, there are other. There is the "se." For example, in the last sentence, se tão contrário a si é o mesmo amor. This "se" is if. The translation is if. That is if. Then you have the "se" that can be himself, herself, yourself. It's also another kind of "se." It's the reflective pronoun.
Oh my goodness.
But this "se" is what we call the "se" passivant, which is like a passive voice. And what is a passive voice? A passive voice is when the subject doesn't do anything; it's passive. So the action is done by someone. So, for example, in this vende-se, you translate into English like for sale, right?
Yes.
So the property is for sale. Of course, if you say the property is for sale, the property, the subject of the sentence, doesn't do anything. So the owners are doing it, right?
Yes,
the owners
right.
are selling. So this is so you can say that this is considered like a passive voice. So a propriedade é vendida.
As in, like,
but
it's being sold. Like, because
is
when I
being
first saw
sold.
that,
Yes,
it was like
yes, it's
this
being
house
sold.
it's
Yeah,
selling
this
itself.
property is being sold. Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So this se, for example, amor é fogo que arde sem se ver. If you read your translation again of this first sentence, can you read just the first sentence, the translation, please?
Oh, no, I've lost that now. but I will do it. I'll come back to you on that. I'll do that again for sure.
Yeah.
So
So,
give me a moment.
okay, no problem. So,
Um,
amor é fogo que arde sem se ver. So, what is this se doing there? That's the
Okay.
question.
All right.
Okay.
So we're looking at the Google translation of the first
No
line.
problem, no problem.
Okay.
So,
Love is a fire that burns without being seen. Being
being
seen.
seen,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Without being seen. So,
Yes.
sem se ver, you have to translate that
Yep.
without being seen. That is a passive voice in
Yes,
terms of
got it.
grammar. So, and this se is when you don't refer the subject. So who does it, right? So
Yes.
for example, imagine that you say, "My car has been stolen," right?
Yes.
You don't know who stole it. So you can't, well, of course, you could say a thief stole my car.
Mhm.
But the emphasis is put on the fact that the car has been stolen, right?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
emphasis is not on who did it, but the fact that that happened. So
Yep.
this is is doing that, is putting the emphasis on the action itself and not the emphasis on who or what, right? Okay, so this is what the passive voice does. It puts the emphasis on the action
Gotcha.
instead
Yeah.
of the emphasis on the subject. I
Very
hope
good. Okay.
okay.
Yes. Well, yes, of course it is, but it's okay. keep
Yeah,
going,
but
everybody.
this is used lots of times in Portuguese when you, for example, even sometimes in a very informal, está-se bem, e
Yes.
está-se bem, está-se bem. Of course, very, very informal. But
Yeah.
está-se bem is, yeah, everything is well, but in the sense of everything is being
Being
fine.
well. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Being
Okay.
fine. But
Very good.
it's this that you can have in sentences like that. Fala-se, for example, fala-se português. Portuguese is spoken. Fala-se
Yeah.
português.
Oh, I
in
see.
those times,
That might be a sign, like,
a
Portuguese
sign,
spoken
yeah.
here.
Fala-se português.
Yes. I
Not
see.
in
Right.
Portugal, but imagine that you go to Spain.
Paris. Paris or Spain, yes.
Paris, and
Yeah, yeah.
you have a sign, "Fala-se português." So someone speaks Portuguese in that shop, for example. So
Very good.
so
Okay.
that
Being spoken.
that
Yes.
yeah, Portuguese is spoken.
Right. We have some comments. I don't know if they're
Okay.
questions exactly, but Mr. S always loves to be here when you are. Duvida, caso e acaso. Acaso. And I learned at the restaurant we went to on Sunday, Casarão. I've not seen that before. That's big house, isn't it?
Yes, a big house, because you have casa, and
Yeah.
then you can have casinha, a little
Yes.
house, and then
Yes.
you can have casarão, a
Yes.
big house. Yeah.
My goodness, that food was good. But so I don't understand. Can you make a question out here?
Sempre. Anyway, not always.
Not always.
No, sempre is always.
Okay. All right.
Sempre.
It's always. Okay.
Yeah,
and
sempre.
now is John written his own Portuguese poem
O amor é
here?
paciente, o amor é bondoso, não inveja, não se... okay. I think it seems to me that something like the Bible or something.
Or a love poem. Yes.
O
Very
amor
good.
não se compraz no mal, mas
I
alegra
think
com a
Pam
verdade.
will be impressed by that. Pam's going to be impressed by that, even if, I mean, it just looks good. And I need you to read it as well, John. You need to read it out, I think, as well there. So thank you for that. And have a great weekend, everyone. Looking forward to the party tomorrow night. We are staying at Storytellers Palace for the first time. Have a great stay. See you around town, perhaps. All very welcome in San Martino de Porto tomorrow. And if you want to see Filomena, the next opportunity to do so will be
Coimbra.
on... Yes, well, there is that as well. But look, online, Thursday the 6th.
Yeah, okay, online. Yeah.
These are always great sessions. Book those. And we get you 10% off the membership of Expats Portugal.
The next meetup.
Now, you're good. This is going to be a very special one. This is like your home fixture, isn't it?
The city where I was born.
Yes, and where you studied as well. So that's going to be a lovely opportunity to meet you and hang out with you there. And that's save the date for the 12th of April to be in the company of Filomena. And who knows, we might even bring our disco and karaoke roadshow along to that and have some fun and a bit of singing and dancing as well. Filomena, which at 1 minute past 9, you might have somebody. Well, I think Karen might be knocking on the door in just a moment, and you might have students ready to come and learn. Thank you so much, as ever. Muito obrigado, bom fim de semana e feliz dia de São Valentim. Yes.
Obrigada, igualmente. Divirtam-se e até à próxima.
I most certainly will. I've not learned how to say that in Portuguese, yes, but certo, sim.
Com certeza, com certeza.
Com certeza. Okay. What was it? The highest thanks were the agradecido. What was you?
Agradeço imenso.
Immenso, yes, immense
Agradeço
thanks.
imenso.
Agradeço imenso. Obviously. So have a great weekend. Love to you and the family, and to everybody here. Have a great weekend, and maybe
Bom
see
fim
you.
de semana.
Bom fim de
Beijinhos.
semana. Nice round of
Beijinhos.
applause for Filomena and for yourselves. Another week closed out. Maybe see you this weekend. Ciao.